All right, guys. All right. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing great. I hope. Today, drink some water because I didn't drink some coffee. But bam, I got some more coffee. I'm going to do a small landscape painting. As you guys seen, I'm working on some small ones. And I wanted to get started. Let's go. Also, I wanted to touch on something. Some people have asked me, or they've also kind of been wondering how to get out of the whole idea of artist block, right? Something I talk a lot about. And I've talked about it in different ways, just to kind of, this is not something that I don't work with. I don't necessarily battle with it anymore, but I work on it daily. It's not something that I'm immune to. I work on it daily. The whole thing is that when I hear artists tell me stuff like, oh man, I'm having an artist block, or oh, I don't know, I have a problem with producing artwork. Anything along those lines, I already know what it means. I already have without trying to create any judgment or anything, I'm just saying. I kind of know what it means already. The thing is, the whole thing, I'm going to tell you guys right now, a little ninja secret from the artist studio. If you have difficulty creating artwork, and you want to create artwork, or if you have been an artist for a while, and you suffer from this mental poison, artist block, there's different little things that are happening simultaneously. When the whole artist block is happening. But the main thing that I've noticed in my experience is the number one thing, and I heard this entrepreneur, because you guys know I don't learn stuff from other artists, really. I learn stuff from either the old masters. I like to read their little memoirs or letters or whatever, and I learn stuff from marketers and entrepreneurs, because I feel like they have a sense of work ethic, a very strong one. The guys that are doing it right? And what I mean right is the guys that are prolific. They have a very strong sense of work ethic. And I like to look at those, because artists don't tend to talk about this. I mean, I think Chuck Close is really one of the few that are still alive that touches on this kind of stuff. But the rest of them are just like, oh, I just show up to the studio, ha ha ha. And then the rest of us are like, oh, damn it, like, how do you do it? But the main thing I want to talk about is the main reason this kind of stuff happens, this whole artist block, this poison that I like to call, is because there is a preconceived judgment happening. You see, the whole thing is about judgment. The whole damn name of the game is judgment. The moment you start learning values, you start learning composition, you start learning, the moment you start learning that kind of stuff, and even before you're learning it, you're judging. You're very, and I'm not saying judging as a judgy person. That's not what I mean. Okay, so I hope you guys understand that. What I'm saying is that we're too critical with what we're doing, and we like to say, well, it's because I like to do things right. The problem with, if you do it as a hobby and you're kind of having fun with it, by all means, But if you want to be a ninja with it, a ninja. You want to paint for a living, or you have a project that you want to finish, even if you want to do it for a living. Let's say that you You tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to do an exhibit. That's one of my, it's in my bucket list. But I can't seem to find myself to work on the paintings or on the photographs or whatever it is that you do, right? In this case, I'm talking about paintings. I'm a painter. The whole thing is because we put these judgments, these two critical things, you know. For example, you notice how I'm painting? And this doesn't apply, of course, to every style of painting, but the work aspect does. The work aspect does. What I'm doing is that I'm keeping the brush moving. For me, the most important thing, regardless of how I feel about it, regardless of whether I feel like it or not, or I'm tired. If you're tired, go rest. That's different. If you're very tired, you probably need some rest. But if you're mentally tired because you've been overthinking, you gotta suspend that. And what I mean is, you gotta start just laying paint down. Slow or fast. If you don't feel comfortable fast, do it slow. But one after another. And now don't lay paint down and look at what it looks like. Because your mind, and I'm gonna be bold about this, your mind knows nothing about painting. Your mind, the analytical, that intelligent left part of your brain knows nothing about painting. And most of us can't move forward because of that. Most of us can't, you know, if you talk to any professional writer, any novelist, anyone doing anything like that, they understand that. They understand that. This is not something that I just, you know, came up with and I'm trying to tell people. How's it going, Nancy? Good to see you. This is not something that I just came up with and I'm like, oh, I'm going to start telling people this. No, this is something that I've looked at over and over. I've talked to artists. I've experienced it myself, most importantly. And I realized that most of us don't have a production problem. Not that way. Most of us don't have what do you call it? An inspiration problem. We have a production problem. That's really what we have. And I don't mean to offend anyone because this is just the mental mind. You know, this is the human mind. You know, this is the way we operate. It's supposed to be this way because it's kept us alive for thousands of years. You know, and this is the way it is, right? The mind is trying to protect. The mind is trying to rearrange. The mind is trying to dissect. But in painting, especially in anything, right? But especially this type of painting, if you stop and you look at what you're doing, you lost. And I know I mean, some people have followed me for some time now, some years, and they know I'm serious when I say that. And I do it myself. I do it from time to time, and getting out of it is very difficult because the critical mind wants to see what you're doing and wants to start judging it. Wants to start saying, the blues are too blues, the grays are too grays, the background's not good enough. You know, the mind starts messing with you that way. And what happens when your mind starts messing with you like that is that you start slowing down. You start thinking about it. You start paralyzing. You start going, oh man, why did I put that peach there? Because I wanted to. Now this does not mean that you have to be like oh, I don't care. You know, this doesn't mean that. But it does mean that you have to think that way. I heard one of my mentors say, you have to literally remove, and this was a business guy, okay? This wasn't an artist. Remove your head when you're working. He said, I literally remove my head. Who else has said that you know of? Oh, just Andy Warhol, just Picasso, just Manet, just Delacroix. All of them have said it. An artist cannot paint with his head because the analytical mind wants to stop you. The analytical mind is too critical. It wants to stop you. It knows very little, if not anything. I like to say it knows nothing of creativity. It doesn't understand it. It wants to understand it. That's the problem. And anyone doing this jam long enough knows that there is nothing to understand. If there was something to understand, guys, we wouldn't be painting. We would be architects, or we would be mathematicians, or we would be I don't know, other type of writers, not creative writers, because creativity is something you're really tapping into the untouched, into the unconditioned, and that's really what it comes down to. Hi, Jenny. you're really touching the unconditioned, and the unconditioned aspect of you. Some people call it the. And I don't want to sound spooky, guys, because I'm not talking about anything that is that kind of stuff. But it's the, what do they call it? The unborn. Some people call it that. I know some. It's very Zen. It really is very Zen. But any tradition, it doesn't have to be Zen. It doesn't have to be. Any tradition will find that. You have to remove your mind when you're creating artwork. And the way you do that is that I do it with different little things that I do. One of them is I keep painting. When that's not working, I absolutely just start going very slow. Okay? If that's not working, and I still can't get my groove, get in the zone, what I do is that I go very fast. Now, if that doesn't work either, see, I do different little things in order to get me into that zone. When that doesn't seem like it's working, I just start laying color down, and I don't care what it is. And usually that one, it starts becoming intelligent. It starts doing it on its own. It doesn't need me. It doesn't need my critical, mind. Oh yeah, we're late. We're playing again. That's really what your heart is telling you. Oh, we're playing again. Oh, you're not so serious anymore. You're not walking around with this serious aspect of yourself. Hi, Marcia. So the mind rests, or the heart overcomes the mind, and then that's when you enter the zone, and your higher consciousness. I know it sounds hippie and whatnot. It doesn't have to be this way. This is just how I'm explaining it. It's not this way. If you talk to anyone who plays sports, they talk about it in different ways, but they talk about the same thing. They talk about the zone and how to enter it, and how sports athletes talk about how their coaches teach them how to go in, and when they go out, how to go back in it. And it's something that you have to practice, because really you are as good as you are, and the mind doesn't understand that. So the mind wants to be clever. Like, how can I? Oh, okay, yeah, some blue right here. Oh, I'm gonna, the mind wants to be clever, but the heart, or however you want to call it, I like to call it the unconditioned, or when you enter the zone, right? It's unconditioned because it's like a newborn, right? It hasn't been. It's like for those of you who like religion, who are into religion or Jesus, he says, be as children, right? To enter for me is to enter the zone. Be as children, because they're not conditioned, they're unconditioned. That's why they refer to themselves. And little Johnny is thirsty. They don't say Johnny's thirsty. I'm thirsty. They say little Johnny, because they're not conditioned yet. Anyways. I'll leave you guys with that. I hope I didn't confuse so much with my rambling. The name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. I'm the world's greatest living artist. And I'm coming here with some awesome tips for you guys who are in your journey, or through your journey of becoming artists. I know this is very sloppy in the background, but guys, bear with me. It's okay. Let's see beyond that. And I hope this helps one or two of you. I hope this helps, because it definitely has helped me to go beyond the limitations of the mind when we're working, and really just go above that. Become tap into the higher consciousness. Tap into your true artist. There's a true artist. There's a Rembrandt in you. And you don't know it. So I'm telling you, there's a Rembrandt in you. There's a Rembrandt in me. There is that true artist. We just need to tap into it. It's not about learning how to paint better, guys. It is not about that. That helps, but it is more about tapping into the true artist that is in each one of us. I'll leave you guys with that. Take care. Bye-bye.